Howdy, my name is John Cicchini. Some of you know me as Whammy J, and today I'm here to show you how to use one of our awesome adapter plates. Now, why would you want to use an adapter plate? Well, let's say you have a guitar with a Floyd Rose or an old Kahler Fulcrum design tremolo. Anything that pivots on two posts, you can take one of our adapter plates and cover that hole and put one of our tremolos on it. Why do you want to do that? Because they're better. So today we're going to show you how to use one of our adapter plates. And the first thing I want to discuss is scale length on a guitar. Some of you know exactly what scale length you have, but others may not. So how are we going to determine that? Well, the first thing I want to do, you get your trusty tape measure. And we all know where the nut is. That's down here. And this is the leading edge of the nut, which faces the pickups. Here is your 12th fret, or where usually the double dots are. So we'll take the measurement. I'll go to the double dots. In this case, it's 11 3/4. 11 3/4 times 2 from this distance, double it to this distance is 25 1/2. Hence, you have a 25 1/2 inch scale guitar. Now what I like to do, get my trusty blue painter's tape. I'm go ahead and lay it down right here over the area where the saddles of your existing tremolo is, or bridge. And we're going to make a mark, but I don't want to mark it on the guitar. What we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and measure down one side of the neck to the 25 1/2 inch line. We're going to make a mark, 25 1/2, right there. And then we're going to come down this side of the neck and do the same thing. Now, we'll get our trusty ruler and we'll connect the dots. Make sure you do this really good and straight now. Okay, now this is your 25 1/2 inch line, which means it's 25 1/2 inches from here to this nut. That's the length of your strings. The next thing we want to do is preset up the tremolo, and this is how we're going to do it. Okay, what we're going to do here, the first thing we're going to do on the tremolo is set it up. Now, setting up is really simple. You want to lower your rollers fairly low to where the adjuster is near the surface. Okay? That means your rollers are fairly low, or as low as they can go without the adjusters protruding up. We want to unscrew these Phillips right here, just a hair, so you can pull these forks out. Let me show you that's done. You just see the fork will go in and it will pull out like that. And you want to pull them all out about 2/3 of the way in a perfectly straight line. I'm screwing up there. Like that. Okay, so they're all in line. Now here's the trick. You take that line of rollers and you lay it over the intonation line.
Go ahead.
So we'll take these pulled out forks, exactly pulled out 2/3 of the way, and lay them exactly over the intonation line. That will ensure that our distance between the leading edge of the nut and the existing witness point is exactly 25 1/2 inches. Once we've discovered what our north and south placement is, now it's time to figure out how our east and west placement is supposed to be. The way we do that is we take a string, we simply put it in the E side, run it down the E through the tuner, and just stick it in the hole, like that. All right, there's one. Run it down this side, through the screw, like that. And basically we're going to give these a little turn, just to kind of lock them in place a little bit, like that. All right, so now you can see that we have the strings going down the side. Now you want to go left or right to make sure that these stay right down the sides, right down at equal distance. Okay, that looks pretty good right there. So what I want to do is spot this just like that with these on the line. Everything has to be X marks a spot. Lined up here, lined up here. Take your drill and tap 2 holes right here and right here. That'll mark the spot. Then you can take the bridge off. As you can see, we have 2 holes already drilled. That is, you already know where it's going to be. So boom, 1/16 inch bit, drill it down 1 inch deep, and go ahead and pilot the 2 screw holes in the back, holding this in place. Now, let's talk about the adapter plates for a minute. Now let me take a moment to show you the different kind of plates that we have for this purpose. As I mentioned before, these are made to cover fulcrum routes. So we have one for a recessed route, we have one for a route that's not recessed at all, and we have stacker plates. Let me start with stacker plates because those are the easiest. Let's say, for an instance, that the trajectory of your strings is kind of high and you have to bring those rollers dangerously high. Not good for tuning. You want to keep them low. Well, I got a set neck guitar. I can't mess with the shim. I can't shim the bridge or the neck. I can't do anything. So what am I going to do? The trusty stacker plate. Simply goes right underneath and raises the bridge 1/16 of an inch. Now you can lower the rollers to where you have a better string angle across the neck. Good action. You can add up to 2 of these stackers if you want, but no more than 2. You can do the same thing with a fixed bridge stacker plate. Exact same thing, no difference. So whether you want a tremolo or fixed bridge, doesn't matter. All right. Now we discussed the stacker plates. That's pretty simple. Just going to raise it up 1/16 or an 1/8, depending on if you use 1 or 2. Now let's talk about covering those Floyd voids. Now some Floyds, some Kahlers, a lot of the fenders are all surface mounted. I mean, they don't have a recess. They're not sunken into the body. They're just sitting right on top. Well, most of the time a Kahler bridge will cover the route, but sometimes you see a little bit kind of on the side of the fulcrum route sticking out. Most people don't care, not a big deal. But let's say, as in this case, I made some mistakes. I screwed up, put it in the wrong spot. Now, if I put my tremolo there, it's going to show these ugly marks. Oh, what did I do? Well, I didn't do too bad. You get one of our little stacker plate or little adapter plates, lay it over here like that.
What's the number of that adapter plate?
This is the PL4, and we make a PL5 which is larger, and I'll get that in a second. But as you can see, voila, you're covered. Doesn't really take away from the design of the bridge. It's still kind of small, looks kind of pretty. And we also make a PL5, which I'll show you in just a minute. When you first get the adapter plate, it will look like this. It will only have 2 elongated holes. There will be nothing punched in here. When you're all done, it will look something like this. Why does it look like that? Because everything makes a little adjustment, and it's made out of brass, so you can adjust it. But you see, it looks perfect when it's all covered. So how we're going to do this is very simple. We know where the back's going to be. So we lay that thing down like this, put the stacker underneath it, line up the rear holes only over the elongated spot, and we drill it where we had our 2 holes. Already drilled, so I'm going to go ahead and screw these in here.